Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another video. Your video game was updated today. Final Fantasy XIV got its update, but was scheduled for today, the 27th of April. The servers actually went up much earlier than we expected. It was completed early, but it's actually quite a bit of stuff that they've done, or at least that's been documented in these notes here. So let's read through these. I'm not going to pull any punches. There's quite a few, but I thought I'd read them through. So grab yourself a coffee, I suppose, and let's go through them. So these were the quote-unquote hot fixes that were going to take 5 hours to actually patch into the game. It says the following adjustments were made. The item Deluxe Heavens Cracker can no longer be sold, so maybe there was an exploit with selling that for some reason. I'm not sure if that could have been sold for more than vendor price or something, but that's usually what happens with those things. The sound driver stability has been improved for the PS5 version. Yeah, I heard there was quite a few issues with the sound suddenly cutting out and needing a reset of the game on the PS5. But, you know, it is an open beta, so, you know, it is what it is, and things do get addressed. And it says the following issues have been addressed. Some graphics were not displayed correctly in cutscenes from the main quest Righteous Ignition, which was on the PS5 version. Again, another thing that's going to happen as we iron out all the problems with a new version. An NPC required in order to progress in the quest Precious Reclamation, 1001 Farewells, and It Takes an Enclave was not displayed under some conditions, thus preventing progress. That's an interesting one. Well, good job that's fixed, I suppose, for anybody stuck on those quests. A cutscene would not play upon speaking to the NPC Notched Bone during the quest Ancient Goblin Secrets, thus preventing progress. I'm not sure how all of this has happened, to be perfectly honest. Usually things like this don't really happen, but something must have changed. I think they said before in Final Fantasy XIV you fix one thing and you break another as a result because of the old coding, but, obviously this stuff is getting addressed as they see it. A cutscene would not play upon accepting the quest's momentary miracle, thus preventing progress. Azizlar was not displayed correctly under some conditions while making progress in the quest Eternity, Loyalty, Honesty, and the Burdens We Bear. That's interesting. During the final boss battle in the Alliance Raid Dungeon, the Tower at Paradigm's Breach, players could take damage even though mechanics were executed correctly. Oh, I remember this. So, you know the pushback mechanic, even after the boss had died or it had faded or you'd done it correctly, sometimes it would just blow you off the platform or kill you regardless, which is kind of hilarious, but that's been fixed apparently. In Tower at Paradigm's Breach, players would take damage during the fight with the Red Girl, even though some mechanics were executed correctly. Yeah, there was a few bugs in there, let's put it simply. Hansel and Gretel would not be defeated due to not being targetable under certain conditions. I saw a GIF of this actually. An alliance group somehow managed to make, accidentally, Hansel and Gretel just rotate in circles repeatedly, almost like they were T-posing, like they were completely untargetable, just stuck in a transition, so it completely annihilated the fight. Servers would go down under certain some conditions. Well, wasn't that always the plan from Yoko Taro anyway? He got his dream. His Alliance raid did take down the actual servers. That's quite brilliant, actually. In the Duty Delibram Regine Savage, Trinity Seeker would stop auto-attacking under some conditions. I'm not sure about that one. In the Unending Coil of Bahamut Ultimate, some of the graphics pertaining to mechanics were not displayed correctly. Interesting. That would have been painful, wouldn't it? In the English version of the client, upon entering the Raid Dungeon the Cloud deck on Extreme, the name of the duty was not displayed correctly. Really? Interesting. I wonder what it was called. Players may have been able to purchase unobtained resplendent tools from Calamity Salvager NPC or the Journeyman Salvager NPC that can be placed inside housing. As a temporary measure to address this issue, the dialogue path Purchase Quest Rewards, Purchase Achievement Rewards 3 could not be selected for the corresponding NPCs, but these selections will be again available following the implementation of his hotfix. Wait, so people were able to just straight up buy stuff for their house that they hadn't ever had before? I'm confused. Maybe someone can elaborate on that in the comment section. Crest would not be displayed on the following gear: Shadowstalker's helm, so the shadow stuff from a new, oh interesting, brand new Alpha Nose attire. That's surprising. The graphics for the following items were not displayed correctly on PS5. That includes the Esfet's saw, round knife, the fryer pan. The stuffed bear were not displayed correctly on PS5. For miner and botanist, the client could crash under certain conditions upon attempting to gather whilst riding on a mount. Wow, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Jeez, what have they done to cause that? When using Fisher's release list action, players were unable to select what to release when using a gamepad or keyboard. What would you have to use then? A mouse? If players used the world visit system to go to a world that was previously their home world and return to their current home world, there were rare cases where the character could not log in. Oof. That would really be a really, really big problem. I'm glad that I didn't world visit much then. If players used the homeworld transfer service to select a new homeworld that had been selected as a homeworld in the past, there were rare cases where characters would not be able to log in. Oh, wow. Retainer's inventory could change under certain conditions. Wow, so like you could have your old inventory back or something? That could really screw you over, couldn't it? The client would crash when closing the game when clicking the X that appears on the upper right corner of a game window. If the UI that opens up when talking to some merchant and exchange NPCs was still displayed at the time. Wow, that's different. I've not heard of that one. The client could crash under certain conditions when using a gamepad to operate orchestrions. That's kind of bad. Rewards for completing achievements could not be obtained from the Achievements tab on free trial accounts. Oh yeah, I completely forgot that was a thing. So you can still get them then on free trial accounts without going to Jonifus, but they just messed that up somehow. Interesting. I wonder if they can do PvP yet. Some NPCs were not displayed correctly in lavender beds. Cutscene number 4 from the quest Blood of Emerald was not played correctly in the Unending Journey. I wish I'd gone and seen that now. That would have been a laugh. The subtitles for cutscenes were displayed smaller than they should be under certain conditions on the PS5. That'll be the resolution stuff, won't it? All of those new features. The controller could vibrate under certain conditions, even if enable vibration was not set to on in the system configuration. That would scare the crap out of people, I'm pretty sure. The vibration's off, but it's vibrating on its own. We've got a ghost in the PS5. A ghost in the machine. The game would be outputting in HDR even if HDR was not set to on. Oh, set to on when supported on the PS5 control settings. Interesting. Water sound effects would sometimes not play correctly on the PS5. The background music that plays during battle and outside of battle would not switch back and forth correctly when in an instance on PS5. Wow, that's a lot of fixed issues. Good job for Square Enix for addressing all of these. So if you've encountered any of these, then it's a good chance that they've been fixed. It says the following issues were addressed in the PS5 system software update. Screenshots could not be taken when selecting to take screenshot from a create control menu. Screenshots taken upon acquiring a trophy would not be saved if multiple trophies were acquired at the same time. Oh, interesting. So they've fixed that. Yeah, I've heard a few people say that the PS5 couldn't take pictures of the game, and people were pretty upset about that. But they have since apparently fixed that. So that was what was in your, nearly 5-hour hotfix for the game on April 27th. If you were wondering where the servers were, maybe you were trying to play last night and they just disappeared. Well, now you know where they've gone. A link in the description will take you to this. I thought this was interesting. That's why I read it out to you. Of course, read it in your own time. Again, people will complain that, it's just a load of hotfix notes. Why do you have to read it out? Because not everybody wants to spend time reading it, and some people have things to do and just want to listen. So anyway, there we go. That's what this video is for. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time.